So I am absolutely a Zoomer. I truly believe that I'm a Zoomer. I truly believe that I'm someone who in no way, shape, or form lives their age, their quote-unquote numerical age. Not at all. There's no way, shape, or form. And I know that I've been placed on this earth to be a storyteller, to be an educator, and to inspire. And the reason that I know that is that there were several words that really jumped out at me, and I grabbed a hold of a lot of those that I want to share with you all, why I know I am the epitome of and the embodiment of a lot of the messages that you heard today. So there was a message about change, there was a message about courage, there was a message about commitment, and there was a message about content is king. Context, though, is the key thing. Context is king, living your message. So I want to tell you a little bit about myself, then I'm going to go through some different areas relating to each of those words, and then I'm going to share with you why I believe a ball can change the world. A ball truly can change the world, because I know that because a ball changed my life. A ball saved my life. I'm the product of upheaval, hardscrabble life, and dysfunction. 2 addict parents who abandoned 3 little boys, left us in a trailer 200 miles away from Philadelphia. We were placed on a Greyhound bus, only at the ages of 8, 6, and 3. My mother and father never returned. My grandparents take us in. They do the best they can. A ball saves me. There's a playground in the neighborhood. Those of you who are trying to think, how could anybody put little kids on a bus and send them by themselves with no parental guidance? The year is 1964. I'm 51 years old. I'm well preserved, too. I like to tell people that's a whole nother presentation. We'll be selling some lotions out in the back after we... Hardscrabble, upheaval, dysfunction. I learned about change very early in my life. I learned about how to deal with it. I learned about courage, too. I learned about courage just like Lewis Pugh, who is actually one of my BFFs. We spent time in London together this summer, and Lewis and I connected on such a level. And so I want you all to remember, just really quickly, to go back into that moment when Lewis was making the decision to go into that water. At the temperature it was, knowing that it put his life in peril, in danger, and he still went in. Courage is about that. See, we were sitting in that trailer for 5 days alone. Barely any water, barely any food. My mother simply left a promise saying she was going to come back, but she went to chase her addiction. I had the courage to say, I'm not putting up with this. You took me out of first grade. I'm breaking my promise now. And I left that trailer and got that woman to dial my grandfather's phone number, and he requested that we were put on the bus. So I know courage. I know change. I know about commitment. See, W.N. Murray from the Scottish Himalayan Expedition, he talks about commitment in this beautiful, beautiful little quote. Until one is committed, there is hesitancy, the chance to draw back, always ineffectiveness. Concerning all acts of initiative and creation, though, there is one elementary truth, the ignorance of which kills countless ideas and splendid plans. You see, the moment one definitely commits oneself, then providence moves too. So think about that. See, there's a lot of people that talk about it. Very few people that are doing anything about it, right? Didn't we hear that whole thing about context is king? Living your message? So I realized that it was important for me to live my message of a ball changing a life. Because as I grew up, and this ball, this little kickball that I discovered at 6 years old, manifested into a soccer ball, a basketball, baseball mitt, track spikes, you name it, I played that. But what I was actually trying to do was to get a sense of belonging. I had no idea that the ball was actually teaching me how to turn ideas into reality, how to teach me how to manifest dreams into reality. And I started to realize that I had an obligation to the ball. I had an obligation to go around and actually to share with others the power of a dream, that anything is possible, that human potential is boundless and endless. And so I get a chance to start traveling around when I end up working at Nike. I start to see this global perspective of play and recess. And I get this idea, what if I actually brought brand new soccer balls and basketballs and playground balls and actually started trading kids for the ball that they manufacture out of whatever is available? Well, lo and behold, over the next 8 years, I end up trading for over 100 plus red rubber balls. And so I have a ball collection from all over the world, and I wanted you all to see just what can be manifested out of our imaginations, our creativity, our innovative spirit. Boom, 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 boom. Boom, 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 boom. No. Yes. Maybe. Boom. Boom.
This one here.
Brother. This is from Mozambique. It's a trash bag ball that the kids created in their little village there. This is a rubber band ball for some kids in Kansas City. They actually put their dreams on it. Austin is the last rubber band on that. His dream is to go to college. This is from this great city of Vancouver. This is actually an asparagus rubber band ball from the chefs at a hotel who were observing me in the wings when I was here a few years ago to present. And it was at the beckoning and the request of Metropolitan Fine Printers. They brought me here to come and speak. Well, these chefs were standing in the back and listening, and they got so inspired, they ran in the back, and they came out when I finished, and they said, "You can have this. This is going with you." It weighs 23 pounds. It's a trash bag ball from Africa and strings. This one is from Houston, Texas, from the KIPP schools, which is a great charter school. All the kids put their dreams on that after I traded them for some brand new soccer balls and basketballs. This is a balloon ball from Mexico. They actually fill a little balloon up first with a little bit of water. They tie that one off, and then they tear more and more balloons around it so they get an actual ball that bounces. This is from Right to Play in Toronto, an amazing organization that I have an affiliation with and I'm a special advisor for. And they actually go around and talk about the right we have to play. And they advocate on behalf of children's right to play and how the importance that it can help them with dealing with difficult situations, conflict regions, and poverty and homelessness. This is a Tarahumara ball. They actually kick this in foot races in Mexico. This is a trash bag ball from Zambia. Stockings, corners, bags, and string. This is from Derek Jeter's baseball camp at the Turn 2 Foundation in Kalamazoo, Michigan. That's right, I'm big in the Midwest. Big Midwest. This is a sock ball from Brazil. This is a trash bag ball from Zambia. The kids had no strings, so one of the kids came up with an amazing solution. There's an old tire over there. We can actually peel that tire rubber down, and we can actually make string out of that. So this is bound with tire rubber. This is from Modesto, California. The name of their baseball team is the Nuts. This is from Bahia, Brazil. They were playing 11 against 11 soccer match with that. The whole community was out watching them. They were doing magic with that ball. I was so amazed at what they could do with the ball. But one of the things that was so fascinating is when we went to go to trade them for that ball, they didn't want to trade us. They thought we were going to steal it. So we had to do the trust move where you set something down and you back away slowly. And the kids come up cautiously and they scoop up the ball, the brand new soccer ball. And then when they're running back, we ask them a simple question. When is this not a ball? And they say, well, when there's only one panel left of the ball, it's not a ball anymore, but you use it till there's nothing left of it. And this is a Takra ball from Indonesia. This is from the Homeless World Cup, where I got a chance to do some work with the Uganda team and the US team, and I became the sponsor of them. And this is beginning to lead us into what I want to talk with you all about. So what's your red rubber ball? How is context your king? What's the context of your life, your dream, your passion, your intention? How do you live your intention every single day? See, I know my red rubber ball is literally sport, a ball. I recognize that because a ball saved my life. But I started to raise the question, can a ball change the world? And I started to think about what I would share with you all, and I got this idea. How about I just tell you about one ball, one exchange, and how that really manifested into something I never thought possible, but also reinforced the fact that I was on my right journey. As Joseph Campbell said, I was on my hero's journey, that I was really there in my intention and living it every day. So this is the ball that we're going to talk about. This is from Uganda. It's made of dry banana fibers from a tree. It takes 2 days to create this ball. You actually peel down the fibers off the tree, you put it in the hot sun, and you bind it in this amazing way to make a ball. What's so beautiful about this ball is you always know when the game is over because the ball disintegrates, it's gone. If you want to waterproof this ball, I love this solution. You put it in a plastic bag and tie it up. A marvel in ingenuity, problem-solving, abstract thinking, creativity, all these things that we're hearing every single day wrapped up in play. See, I love to tell people that play has amazing purpose in our life. I like to say that play is serious business because play can make a difference in someone's life. And so this ball was exchanged with me from a gentleman who worked at Nike, Thomas Luebuga, who was from Uganda. He gives me this as a gift because he sees that I'm sharing a ball around the world. He says, Kevin, you should have a ball from Uganda. This one's made of dry banana leaves from a banana tree. I said, that's beautiful. Well, little did I know that Thomas was going to invite me to Seattle, Washington, to speak at a conference for the Ugandan youth that live in the United States. At that event, there is a young man named Jeremy Goldberg. He runs an organization called the Global Youth Partnership for Africa. He's a recent graduate of the University of Texas. This is 2004. Jeremy is perusing the agenda, and he sees this gentleman's name, Kevin Carroll, and his title is Catalyst, and he's from Nike. Whoa, I want to find out more, so he Googles my name, finds out all this information about me. I got to meet that guy. He could be someone that could be a catalyst for my efforts. So he flies out to Seattle, Washington in 2004 to meet me. Jeremy is the only white face in this whole sea of brown skin. And I'm looking at this guy, I'm like, what is he doing? What's going on here, right? Right? And I'm like, okay, so, you never know. And Alden said, you never know, it might be a multicultural opportunity here, Who knows what this guy is doing here? But I was just like, it's all good. So Jeremy is just staring me down and locked on me and listening to every word. And I finished my presentation, and he runs up to me and says, Kevin, I need to talk to you. I said, okay. He says, I'm Jeremy Goldberg. I run an organization, Global Youth Partnership for Africa. I was like, okay. He says, and I think you can be my catalyst. Will you help me? Now, Jeremy's a 20-something. I think it's interesting that Cheryl talked about that, right? How are we connecting? Jeremy saw the opportunity with me. He saw all the experiences I had. He recognized my commitment, right? Context is king. He saw I was living it. I was living this whole notion of a ball changing the world. We become friends. Jeremy says, Kevin, I got this idea. I want to actually convert a field into a more playable field, but I don't know where I'm going to get the money from. I said, well, how much would it cost? And it was just this minimal amount of money. I said, I can get that for you. I said, you know what, Jeremy? I'll start to donate a portion of my honorariums from my presentations to your organization. His mouth dropped open. He said, well, why would you do that for me? I said, well, you asked. He says, well, I didn't ask directly. I said, no, your intention was felt. I get it. So for the next 5 years, Jeremy and I have connected. So we built a soccer field. Then we built a basketball court, all in Uganda, in Kampala, Namawango, all around there, all with the intention of bringing a ball into the lives of these impoverished or marginalized young people. Thousands have benefited from it. We get a chance to go to the Homeless World Cup. Those of you who are not familiar with Mel Young's amazing creation, please go to homelessworldcup.org and learn more about it. It's amazing. Over 7 years, Mel Young has now grown from 9 nations who came to the very first Homeless World Cup, now to 48 nations and 500 marginalized human beings using a ball to change their lives. They have to commit to a year's worth of practice and training and all these things to get a chance to fly away from their situation and to see something new. The last Homeless World Cup was just held in Milan, Italy. Mel Young is an amazing human catalyst. He has spoken at the Davos World Economic Forum about a ball changing the world. I decided to sponsor the Ugandan team. I recognize the opportunity. I'm still at Nike, so I activate all these people. I'm like, you gotta help them, and I tell their story. Before you know it, they got uniforms, they got training equipment, they got extra monies to be able to do things, and I, once again, make sure that they have the ability to get their visas and to travel to the event that's in Cape Town, South Africa. There I meet Archbishop Desmond Tutu. We become friends. Now remember, I'm that 6-year-old little boy that was abandoned, put on a Greyhound bus, heard the caseworker say that nothing good's gonna come from them, Mr. Carroll, but you do the best you can. Now I'm rubbing elbows with a Nobel laureate, finding opportunities to do amazing things with him. We just spent another time together in London. See, a ball can change a life, and it can change the world. But we're not done with Jeremy, right? Homeless World Cup, but then there's a women's organization he starts called Girls Kick It. So we get them uniforms from a friend of mine who is getting ready to change out their uniforms for their girls team in Portland, Oregon. So they donate all of their uniforms and kits to the Ugandan team because I'm standing in front of them at an event speaking about the Homeless World Cup and the work that Jeremy's doing. He said, we want to send our uniforms to these young ladies. So they are the Rhinos, the flying Rhinos in Uganda from Portland. Girls Kick It program. The coach in the white jersey there, I got a chance, he wanted to learn more about playing and being a better coach. And so he talked with me about sponsoring him to go to an opportunity to go to a coaching clinic. Jeremy and I discussed it. We made him do some specific things, and he got sponsored to go to Portugal to actually learn how to be a better coach to empower the young people in the community there. So now I do ball exchanges all over the world, red rubber ball exchanges. I send 300 balls to human catalysts on the ground around the world. They take these balls, specific to whatever it is that they're doing. We did it in Australia, and we had Australian rules footballs, we had basketballs, and we had soccer balls. In Uganda, it was soccer balls. We take them to these individuals, these advocates, and they make a difference in the lives of others. They take this ball and demonstrate that it can be an amazing broker of dreams, to get individuals to actually recognize that anything is possible. They tell the story of this gentleman in the United States from Portland, Oregon, who had a tough life and found a way to change his life because of a ball. And there's this instant recognition and understanding that anything is possible. Circumstances do not dictate your destiny. And I tell them this, and they share the story. And so we've done several ball exchanges in Uganda, in India, and in Australian Outback. And so these are some of the players from the Homeless World Cup who are now leaders because of their opportunity to go to the Homeless World Cup. They're actually the ones doing the ball exchanges in Uganda. So I'll say it once again. What's your red rubber ball? What inspires you? What is that thing, what is that intention that you have that is king in your life? Because context, right, what you're living every day is king. Don't talk about it, be about it. My grandfather had said, you need to check your want to every day. And my grandfather would expect a response, pop up, my want to is good. He said, that's right, because you can't do anything with a broke want to. Got to want to be better, got to want to be special, got to want to make your dreams real. So don't talk about it, be about it. Recognize that anything truly is possible, but you got to know what you're chasing every day. See, we've had this whole full day talking about playfully young, globally young, emotionally young. I embody all three of them. The speakers here shared amazing information. I hope you all were present enough to take some nuggets of wisdom back with you. But you have to be the leaders and the storytellers and go back and share it with others. That's going to be critical. That's how you'll truly be leaders, is to be the storytellers beyond these walls. So I have been accused of not having a real job. People have said, how could you have any ROI if you're talking about play? And so one of my friends actually gave me an amazing comeback. It's from James Michener. And James Michener talks about blurring the lines between work and play. The master in the art of living makes little distinction between his work and his play, his labor and his leisure, his mind and his body, his information and his recreation, his love and his religion. He hardly knows which is which. He simply pursues his vision of excellence, leaving others to decide whether he is working or playing. You see, to him, he is always doing both. And shouldn't that be the quest, to blur the lines between your work and your play, and to find joy in every single day, because it absolutely is a gift. Thank you so much for your time and your attention.